Hydra is in his sideboard for this matchup. It gives him one of the ways to punch through things like Ojutai and Silumgar. That said, Thoughtseize is good here as well. Duress, I mean, it's a spell-heavy deck, so he'll be wanting to use the black spells to punch holes in Sam's hand and then kind of go through them with really aggressive creatures.
Perilous Vault, 2 of those, a Bile-Blighted Dragonlord's Prerogative. A Negate, a Silence of Believers, a Dragonlord Silumgar, 2 Tasker, the Golden Fang, an Ashiok Nightmare Weaver, 3 Drowned Sorrows, a Duress, a Thoughtseize here for Berkenbile.
Yeah, so Sam's going to be trying to kill creatures. Cards like Perilous Vault, Ashiok, Silence the Believers, great in this matchup. Even Bile-Blight, some of the more problematic creatures for Esper Dragons are cards like Rakshasa Death Dealer and Fleecemane Lion. So Bile-Blight, while it doesn't always get those cards, it puts a lot of pressure on Gabe to not use his mana, which is probably good enough.
Well, I imagine we're going to have a pretty lengthy third game here, as the first 2 games have been pretty lengthy. So settle in for our last match of the quarterfinals here between Berkenbile and Joglar. And whoever wins this match will be playing against Nathan Fabelinia, who is playing Green-Red Dragons.
And now keep in mind, Sam can win quickly with cards like Ojutai. There are weapons in Joglar's sideboard to deal with it, things like Crux of Fate and Self-Inflicted Wound. I'm not sure how many of those he actually can afford to board in this matchup.
Hey, Joglar can also win pretty fast, too. He has Obs on aggro, after all. He can just go 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop.
Absolutely.
It's certainly possible. Now, it looks like Berkenbile is going to be on the play here for game number 3, but look, it's certainly possible for Gabe to just get off to a fast start, Berkenbile to kind of stumble and fumble and just lose. I'm truthfully a little surprised it's kind of gone this long.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I mean, one thing is that Sam has got to keep Nathan Zamora in check for best beard in top 8.
The beard battle. The classic. I think I like Berkenbile's a little bit better. I'm not entirely sure why. I'm just leaning that way.
Well, were I to grow a beard, it would look more like that. So that I think so. If I had to grow I mean, I have a beard, but nothing like that.
Are you capable of that lengthy of a beard?
I have never tried. I don't know.
I'd like to see that in combination with the hat. I think it would actually look really good.
I don't know about that. That's a lot of stuff going on.
Just embrace it, man. Berkenbile going to take a long look at that hand. It is game 3 after all. He wants to win this match and move on to the semifinals. Looks like he's going to keep it. Joglar's going to look at his now. He's going to keep too. So both players, not sure if those reluctant keeps, confident keeps. It's unsure, but we're going to find out either way. As the Dismal Backwater is going to start things off here in game number 3 of our quarterfinals. Berkenbile up to 21.
So you're right. Phase 1 is Sam needs to survive the early game here. Not get just curved out by Fleecemane Lions and Anafenzas. After that, we get into this interesting game, which we'll get to, I guess, if and when we get there.
Yeah, I mean, there can definitely be an interesting mid to late game here.
Yeah, but the early game is simple. Can Gabe run Sam out of the house or not?
Berkenbile up to 22 now with a second Dismal Backwater. There's a Windswept Heath. Joglar going to go down to 19. Forester Plains coming. You have to imagine one of his 2 drops as well.
Yeah, and one of the advantages of being on the play here for Sam is that you see he kind of took turn 1 and 2 off to play tap lands. He would not have had the luxury to do this if he was on the draw. You see a copy of Silumgar's Scorn in Sam's hand. He would have had to play a fetch land as a second land instead.
Which 2-drop is it going to be, Mr. Joglar? It's Rakshasa Death Dealer. To Berkenbile we go.
Yeah, and Death Dealer is actually fine here because it's more than likely that Sam will just take 2 off it for a few turns. Its base stats are low. Gabe can't actually afford to pump it in these situations. Bile-Blight risk is a little high. And because Sam gains 1 off a lot of his lands, he can just take the damage.
There's Bile-Blight now. Get it out of the way, pass that turn back over to Joglar.
That works just fine as well. Bile-Blight, a card that can be dead later in the game. You're very happy to just get a Death Dealer with it.
Another Death Dealer here, a Temple of Plenty there. Scry, leave it on top, pass it over to Berkenbile.
Modern Premier IQ
Berkenbile will draw.
Standings and pairings are going outside.
He'll play a Temple of Enlightenment. All of his lands have entered the battlefield tapped, but it has not come back to punish him.
Being on the play has been excellent for him. Looking like he's going to survive through the early game. I think he needs to make sure that Gabe doesn't get to cast a second creature here, have it resolve, and then just get to keep playing. If you can keep Gabe on 1 creature, I think for this turn, then he's good.
There's Nurborg. Red zone. Just 2. No pumps necessary. I discard Spell and Thoughtseize.
All right, we see what we're looking at. Lands 5, 6, 7. Silumgar scoring dig through time. That is dangerous.
Give me that dig through time. Please and thank you.
Well, now that Gabe knows about Silumgar scoring and no dragon, he can take the dig through time and make a second 1/2 drop if he has one.
I think I would have preferred a Thoughtseize pre-combat.
And you could just pump here.
Yeah, because now you know the door was wide open to pump, so maybe he missed out on 2 points of damage. There's no guarantee he would have pumped.
Yeah, because Gabe didn't get a second threat down, it's not that punishing for Sam. He still has plenty of turns to draw out of this. Gabe's pressure is still low.
Honor Premier IQ players, please find your name and find your seat.
There is a Windswept Heath that can fetch or tap for black mana because Urborg is in play.
Yeah, Gabe's gonna need to get a second threat down. One Death Dealer is not gonna be fast enough.
Looks like he's going to go pumping now.
Maybe I stand corrected. Maybe this is fast enough. Gets in for 4.
That's a turn back.
I was surprised to not see Gabe go for a Siege Rhino there.
Yeah, me too. He's got the 5th land, so he can play around Slumgar scoring. There's no dragon in hand for Berkenbile, so he has the mana to pay for that 4-spike-esque effect.
Now, I'm going to back up and maybe explain it here. Gabe, I believe in his hand, has not 1 but 2 copies of Mistcutter Hydra. So getting Sam low is a lot more valuable than it would seem on the surface. Those Mistcutter Hydras are just burn spells.
Oh, that was a top deck dig through time.
Yeah, so that was the reason he needs that pressure is because, you say, wow, what a lucky draw from Sam. Eventually, Sam's going to get to, this is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it would be bad news if it was Jason's Ingenuity, too.
Right. Or even Ojatai.
Yeah. You have to start, I think, deploying threats on the table. You're walking a tightrope. You can walk into, a Crux of Fate-esque type effect, but when you Thoughtseize your opponent, you see they don't have one. I want to take the opportunity to get a Siege Rhino onto the table or just more threats, because if you're doing this one threat attack, that's when a card like Foul Tongue Invocation is great.
Well, yeah, now all Sam has to do is find 1 kill spell, and he's kept the board clean. Yeah, you want to get 2. Once you get 2 threats on the board, you're forcing Sam to use mana on his own turn, which suddenly hurts his counterspell game plan. Right, I mean, the thing is that Sam had a bad hand after Gabe Thoughtseized him, and now Sam's going to get to dig through time on Gabe's end step, and
You now have 50
the
minutes.
board's not that scary.
Yeah.
Now, Gabe's hand is a lot scarier than the board than it looks, though. If it's multiple Mistcutters, there's a lot of burn there.
And Sam doesn't know that.
Right, so not saying that Gabe has a plan, but Gabe's pressure's in his hand and not on the board.
Well, Berkenbile's done resolving a dig through time. He's got a couple of lands over there. You know about the Slumgar scoring. Looks like there's a Foul Tongue Invocation in hand now as well.
Yeah, Haven of the Spirit Dragon. I don't know if he has the dragon yet, though. That's really the missing piece.
I think so. And see, now, if you're Gabe, after your opponent resolves a dig through time, you might be hesitant to cast your Siege Rhino when before the door was pretty open.
Because maybe Sam saw a dragon in there. It's not unlikely. We'll see how Gabe wants to play it. I'm really curious to see how he times this Mistcutter Hydra. Just where he wants to pull the trigger.
Going to combat, coming on in.
Got to be careful about tapping too much of this mana. Now he's tapping down to 4. Yeah, Foul Tongue's going to get him. And now he can't deploy the Siege Rhino,
Nope.
even if there's no dragon in Sam's hand. All his pressures on the table is gone.
If he has a 3-mana spell or a 2-mana spell, you can deploy that, but Siege Rhino, that's out the window now.
Yeah, I do think what I would have liked to have seen him do, he had both an untapped land and a Sandstep Citadel in hand, is to make that attack, make the pump, see what happens, and then decide which land he wanted to play, because you'd rather played Sandstep Citadel this turn based on how it turned out.
Yes. There's a case of Koilos. Berkenbile will pass the turn back.
Yeah, the only reason you'd want to play that 6th land is if you're planning to double pump and leave up regen mana.
Manic Influence the draw. Here's the thing. Joglar is going to be the aggressor in this matchup. So, kind of doing this thing where he's kind of jockeying for position and trying to measure his threats and stuff like that, that plays in exactly what Berkenbile wants to do. He's the Esper Dragons deck. I can pick and choose how I want to use my control spells, my Foul Tongue Invocation. Oh, okay, now you're playing a Siege Rhino? All right, maybe I'll dig through time. But now it's, okay, I'll Foul Tongue Invocation. I don't have a dragon to reveal, but board's clear. I feel great. Let's keep moving.
This jockeying for position you talked about, Gabe gets to do some of it. That Thoughtseize, where he then left Sam with Silumgar Scorn. That's jogging for position, but then he had a window to play a Siege Rhino around the Silumgar Scorn. And at this point, I think Gabe decided he wanted to max value all his creatures, if you will. Meaning I'm going to get as much damage out of this Rakshasa Death Dealer to force you to play your kill spells. And while that's fine, you get 1-for-1 trades. You're forcing Sam to trade 1-for-1 with the card of your choice. You're giving Sam time to draw his more powerful spells. Things like Tasigur, things like Dig Through Time are going to get Gabe.
Well, that's it. This thing isn't over yet. You mentioned Mistcutter Hydra.
Yeah, it's not over, but I think Gabe is behind now.
I think he is now too, with staring a Tasigur in the face.
Tasigur is going to start drawing cards here, and this isn't going to stop.
I think his hand is almost forced now. Here's a duress.
All right. We know Sam has a Silumgar Scorn in hand. Gabe knows that. Doesn't know the other card.
Mistcutter Hydra on this board is good.
So Sam may want to reply here. If he doesn't like the Silumgar Scorn, then he wants to use Tasigur here, because if he lets Gabe duress the Silumgar Scorn, then when Sam activates Tasigur, Gabe can give him back the Silumgar Scorn.
Yep.
If Sam wants a shot at a real card, he could. I think he's supposed to. I guess him not activating says that he wants to get Silumgar Scorn back, which I'm not sure why he would want that.
It's debatable. Here's the Hydra. 6 power, red zone.
Yep. Gabe had been setting up for this. It was just the one, at least one right now. It's 6 that's going to swing in. And yeah, that play from Sam may have cost him dearly. If you look at this graveyard and imagine it without Silumgar Scorn in it, that's a really good Tasigur activation. But now he gets Scorn, he has that doesn't do anything.
Yep. And Tasigur might be on chump blocking duty now.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I guess if he Tasigurs in response, then he just gets left with Scorn anyway.
Yeah, I mean, throughout whatever the iteration is, he's going to end up getting Scorn back. There's a Temple. Take a look at the top card. Berkenbile's draw for the turn was a Hero's Downfall. That was timely.
That's huge. He needs answers to Mistcutter Hydra, especially things that he can get back with Tasigur, which that will work. He needs to hope that he doesn't flip over a dud. Right now he has a play of Downfall the Mistcutter and then Tasigur back a spell.
There is another Mistcutter in hand here.
If Gabe casts that will force Sam into chump blocking with Tasigur. So if Tasigur doesn't hit something good, he hits. Well, this Tasigur activation is very important.
Let's see what's going to happen here. I mean, obviously this can't be countered. This is going to be 7 power.
2 lethal attackers. Sam has 1 kill spell and has the blocker. He was fortunate enough to draw the kill spell to stay alive this turn.
There's 4 mana. Tasigur activation. Swamp. Tasigur.
I'll give him the Tasigur. It's the one spell that doesn't help here.
Don't want to give you Foul Tongue Invocation or Dig Through Time. No, thank you. Beatdowns. Chump 1, kill the other.
Yep. Did draw the Downfall, still alive. 6 can play. There's somewhere preview. Actually, if Sam draws a Dismal Backwater, he's okay.
That's true.
Buys himself some more time.
He gets at least 1 more turn. He has Tasigur in hand that he can chump block with, assuming that Joglar doesn't have a removal spell.
It would be great, and I believe he has enough cards in Graveyard where he could delve away everything that's not Hero's Downfall, activate Tasigur, and maybe if he hits 2 lands, he gets to have Hero's Downfall. That would be great for him. Can he do all that and leave up Silumgar Scorn? Uncertain, but doesn't really matter because he doesn't have the dragon yet. Scorn is just a dead card until he finds a dragon.
There's Tasigur.
Yeah, counts. He has 9 more lands. So you look here, he says, okay, 1 activation, 2 activation, or 1 activation, Downfall.
It's kind of an interesting situation here where, do you want to just make it so that it's just Downfall in the graveyard? Do you want to make it so it's Downfall and Foul Tongue Invocation in the graveyard? Do you want to leave Tasigur in the graveyard because you can kind of do this weird looping thing where it's Tasigur can chump block a couple of times and then I can draw into a removal spell? It looks like he's just going to go with Foul Tongue Invocation left.
So if you're fishing for a specific answer with Tasigur, when you want a specific card, rather than leaving a collection of good cards, you actually just want to delve away as many things as possible. The question I think there was, did Sam want Downfall or Foul Tongue? And he goes with Foul Tongue Invocation. That makes sense.
I actually think he wants Downfall. Because let's say, like, he turns over a couple of cards here.
Land, Dragon Lord Ojutai. Well, what this does is I know this is what I like. If Sam gets back Ojutai, which he will get, and he's gonna go ahead and cast Ojutai. Now remember, Ojutai can't block; it's blue.
Oh, dead to removal spell.
Yep.
Not a removal spell, I don't think.
But now, if Sam gets to untap that, Silumgar's Scorn is a hard counter thanks to Ojutai.
Did Joglar draw a spell?
Oh, you hope so.
He's looking through his graveyard now.
Now, okay, why is Gabe has his own copies of Tasigur? That would be a monster draw for Gabe.
That would be really, really good while Berkenbile shields are down.
He'd get 2 activations off it. Sam's going to get one more shot at killing this Mistcutter Hydra. He'll get an Anticipate off the Dragon Lord Ojutai.
Yeah, and take a draw step, too.
Wow, and Gabe, is this another Tasigur that's being cast?
Yep.
Huge Tasigur with 8 mana up, and leaving just Mistcutter Hydra in the yard. This is tough.
And Defense and Thoughtseize. I think enjoy a Thoughtseize.
I don't. I mean, Sam. So is Sam willing to lose his Silumgar's Scorn? If his Ojutai is trying to hit a sweeper, well, then he'll sweep. Yeah, I mean, he has a Haven in the graveyard. I actually think he really cares about that Silumgar Scorn, and he may just want to give Gabe a bunch of creatures. Then says, okay, I'm going to have to hit a sweeper with my Ojutai, but then at least I can get Ojutai back, and then I have the Silumgar Scorn.
I think if I'm Berkenbile in this spot, I'd prefer to just give you Thoughtseize. It's not really having much of an impact on the game. You know, Silumgar Scorn is good, obviously, but you know, I think we're in the situation where, I mean, Sam has to attack anyway, so I don't want to leave you with any creatures behind. You have to attack and just kind of hit a perfect card.
Here we go. It's the attack. Is Sam going to find something? 1 card, 2, and 3. Did he find a way to answer?
I think there's Dragon Lord's Prerogative in there, which will give him some redraws. Doing a little bit of math now.
Yeah, I mean, so he gets to stay alive, but the issue is that if he does just gets pinpoint removal and not a sweeper, then not only does Gabe get the 1 extra activation of Tasigur now, but he gets 2 more on the untap. That's a lot of cards.
No, I mean, Sam is in a horrible position right now. It is really, really bad news. Ojutai is trying to get him out of the situation that he's in.
Remember, he does play 2 copies of Perilous Vault in his deck, so if he can just tread water for a while and make his way to a Perilous Vault, he can sweep up a lot of these cards.
Looks like he's found the card that he's happy enough with. Rest will go to the bottom.
Let's see, is it that Dragon Lord's Prerogative?
Tapping 5 mana here.
Let's dig through time.
Okay. Let's look at 7.
3 didn't work, maybe 7 will. But now Perilous Vault no longer good. He's looking for maybe he's definitely looking for Cruxifate. That would be the ideal card for him.
It's a good slow roll of himself too. I appreciate that. 1 card at a time, really sweat it out. See if he can find a Crux.
It's Silence the Believers, as I believe the best removal spell he found.
That keeps him alive for a turn.
Yeah, it looks like he's taking Silence Believers and an untapped blue source so that he can have Silumgar Scorn activated.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he can silence the Mistcutter and with any luck he can protect Ojutai for a turn.
It just seems really unlikely just because of the Thoughtseize over there.
Completely agree.
He has the mana to, as you mentioned, Silence the Believers, the Mistcutter Hydra, and then leave Scorn up. We're going to get a Tasigur activation of Siege Rhino and Anafenza. And Anafenza and Mistcutter Hydra are the cards over there.
Anafenza's a good one to mill over because now Sam can give Gabe 2 Anafenzas.
Yep.
Anafenza was probably the card Gabe was getting anyway.
But I don't think the Scorn plays a huge role in things at this point because of the Thoughtseize that's back in hand.
Yeah, I mean, the Scorn will get the Thoughtseize, and then this is huge.
Yep, I think the Absent Charm is probably it.
2 counters on Tasigur is going to be enough.
There's a Silence Believers on Mistcutter Hydra. We all know that was coming, and that's exiled. Here's the hand. 2 Storms.
Oh, not dead just yet.
Okay.
All right, no, you're not going to get 2 counters on that, Tassiger. You can tell Gabe pausing. I think Gabe was like, yeah, I'm going to take the score and I'm going to win. It's like, wait, nope, not yet. Sam's still alive.
Still have work to do.
Oh, man. He is just holding on. If I'm Gabe now, I think you have to wonder whether or not you even want to go for this Obs on Charm play. You may just want to activate Tassiger 2 more times and just keep building this massive cards.
I have some interest in casting Anafenza in the main phase before I attack.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, it gives him the opportunity it might
screw up?
To screw up, yeah.
I don't think Sam's countering Anafenza. Maybe, you're right. He might counter it.
Yeah, I want to lead him into a mistake because, 2 creatures on the board right now is bad news, right?
Yeah, well, that's it. But if Sam's going for Crux of Fate, and you make that play, and Sam makes the right call, you're farther behind. This is like the hedge your bets play, where you just want to hold back and activate Tassiger 2 more
Yeah, I mean...
I hear you, though. If you don't,
I mean, if you play Anafenza... I
don't like it post-combat.
I hate it post-combat.
Yeah.
I truly hate it post-combat.
Pre-combat, you gave Sam the chance to screw up.
Now, what could happen now is if he says, okay, I'll scorn it, then you say, okay, Obs on Charm your dragon, kill it, go.
And then you probably, well...
And then he has to peel on you.
Not necessarily, because you can get back Ojutai with hey. No, it exiles it.
No,
You
it
can't even
exiles
do
it,
that. Yeah, you're right. Sam can't afford to counter this. He doesn't know that, but
Yeah, he does. He has no idea.
if he counters this, he is 1 draw from dead.
All right, no.
Well played, Sam Berkenbile.
Yeah.
You are still alive.
Attack
Here's
you.
Ojutai. And remember, Gabe is at 7. Ojutai does this.
Yep.
You think you're playing against a control deck, and like, oh, it's just that their card draw spell. It's a weird card draw spell. You look at your life pad, and you realize, wait, their card draw spell's killing me.
Yes, it is.
Easy 3 from Sam. We don't even know the one he kept yet.
Well, that was a faster resolution of Ojutai than we've seen, though. Leads me to believe that it's something that matters.
Either that or that the other 2 just don't. It's Perilous Vault.
That's a good one. Activate Tassiger.
Unfortunately for Sam, Perilous Vault means he's going to have to exile his own Ojutai, not kill the Ojutai.
Hero's Downfall was the spell that was turned over, so now we give another card back. Maybe it's Thoughtseize, maybe it's not. Maybe just give him Hero's Downfall.
Don't know the last card in Gabe's hand. And I imagine what happens here is that Gabe knows he gets going to get hit by Perilous Vault, and he just reloads with Tassiger. Now, Perilous Vault, exiling Ojutai doesn't matter as much here because any sweeper, I mean, Anafenza means that if the Ojutai dies in any way, it's getting exiled.
I think I would have preferred, while Gabe's mana's tapped out, to fire off that vault.
So that Gabe can't just activate Tassiger a lot?
Yeah. Slow down, because there's no more miscutters to worry about,
Yeah.
and you have that knowledge.
I don't know the final card in Sam's hand, and I think that plays into it. He has 1 scorn, but he has a second one.
Yeah.
So you're right, because there's no, I mean, he gets to, I guess by activating that, your Silumgar scorn is no longer a counter.
That's true, if he does play something main phase. We'll see. But
But he'll play it
I'm worried.
post-combat anyway.
Yeah, I'm worried about this. I'm worried about Gabe
Yeah.
saying, I'm gonna get some cards back. And, some of the cards you might get back aren't, all that exciting.
Yeah, but I guess you can't hold up the counter spell because Gabe goes to attacks, then you have to exile anyway, and then Gabe plays his spell post-combat.
Yeah.
So your Silumgar scorn was never a counter spell.
Now, if he's holding a dragon, obviously that's a different story, but that wouldn't influence your play either way. Anyway, so I think this way that Berkenbile has played it, he's giving some cards back that I don't think Joglar should have access to, like this Thoughtseize.
Yeah, I don't know. Once again, I don't know Sam's final card, but it does seem that way. Yeah, Perilous Vault's now activated. Yeah, Gabe's going to get another. Yeah, Gabe's scoring 2 free cards off Tassiger here.
So a couple of cards to take a look at here. And it is a Duress. That's the weird looking card.
What does Sam want to give him? He's already given him a Thoughtseize. At a certain point, you just give him lots of Thoughtseizes.
Yeah, because your discard spells, they're not great in pairs.
Yeah, I mean, the Esper Dragon's deck, even when you Thoughtseize their entire hand, can still just do a thing where they peel, dig through time, dig for Ojutai, play Ojutai. You're like, well, no cards in hand. Thoughtseize away. And then they kill your Ojutai, and it's like, okay, end step, Haven it, play Ojutai. You know, you can get around a big discard suite.
There's Thoughtseize.
Yep, Silumgar Scorn and
Scorn.
Silumgar Scorn. Yeah, I agree. With 2 Scorns, I'm not positive what the line was there. But he has cleaned up things pretty well. There's the Crux of Fate. Yeah. Right on time.
Took a little while. Fast turn back.
5-2. This game down to the wire.
We're in Siege Rhino territory.
Oh yeah, Siege Rhino wins. Here's Anafenza. Is he gonna Thoughtseize? If he Thoughtseizes, he gets to have the Crux. Does he have something better? It's gonna be Sorin making a vampire. All right, Crux still has this covered for a turn at least.
Yep.
And what was the draw from Berkenbile? He wants a card drawer or an Ojutai. Ojutai is 1 swing lethal right now.
Yeah, Ojutai is not bad here. Time to recalibrate.
Makes me think he's got another spell that costs a fair amount of mana if he has to know how much he has. 2 Havens. 3 painless black sources. 2 white sources, painless.
See what Sammy's up to. Reorganizing all of that mana, getting prepared to do something. It feels like a Crux of Fate turn.
The Crux has to happen. The question is if he has any follow-up. The Sorin will make another vampire. And remember, Sam knows he's just dead the entire time to a Siege Rhino. One of his 2 cards is Silumgar Scorn. That's not much help at all anymore, especially not because Gabe knows about it.
Man, this is getting pretty interesting here. Sam is trying to hang on. It's funny because Gabe is down to 5, so all it takes for Sam is 1 hit from a Dragonlord Ojutai.
Yeah, he has his own lethal attackers.
Yeah. He doesn't have one right now, so now he's got to figure out a way through this. And that is not a hand motion to say go, I can promise you.
Yep.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I promise that's not what's happening.
I think he has, it looks like he's drawn something good.
He's sitting there.
Dragonlord
Silumgar.
Is that Dragonlord Silumgar?
Yep.
Wow, so he can steal Sorin. He can still this is huge, the Silumgar. Yeah, this should answer just about everything.
He's got a Crux first. He needs to really slow play this and really think through the turn, which I think is really smart, because he doesn't want Gabe to know that he has drawn a dragon. Here's Abzan Charm.
Does Sam want to counter?
And he can counter this because it looks like Gabe is tapped out with just Scorn.
And not show the dragon? I mean, so the worry is that Gabe draws Siege Rhino, but Gabe goes to 3. He'll give him the 2 cards. Gabe draws Land and Crux of Fate.
Yeah,
no
those
Rhino
draws weren't
yet.
all that great.
Here's another Abzan Charm. Gabe's at 3. That's fine. He can do it.
Temple first.
Gabe's just digging for Rhinos. And I like the patience on Sam then to just keep holding this Silumgar Scorn. He wants to be able to play. He doesn't ever want to get Rhinoed.
Yeah, Gabe went reaching for Sorin, and he almost just was like, give me a vampire. Maybe I want to go up and then down.
Sam's at 2. You got, it's, all right.
This isn't a bad place to start. All right. Abzan Charm.
Let's just see. I think in your game start, you're saying, well, let's just see if I can win. Let's see if I can find a Rhino. Rakshasa Death Dealer and another one. That was Siege Rhino that he drew.
Yep.
Does it win? No. No, it doesn't.
Can't reach fast enough. Counter it. Thank you.
We're still playing. 2 and 1 are the life totals. Gabe, nice draw, nice draw. Okay,
yeah,
we're still playing.
It is a nice draw, thank you.
So now, if you're Gabe, this is hard to play the Sorin because you know that Sam's going to steal your Sorin.
Yeah, you cash.
Or your vampire.
Yeah, it's like you cash in, you make a vampire. I think you play the Death Dealer. Actually, he doesn't have the mana. Oh, God. Does he not have
Did he tap? Did he tap poorly?
Well, he's got a Mana Confluence, a Plains.
Yeah, he can't use Mana Confluence if there's no Urborg here.
Well, it's unclear if there's an Urborg in play because his lands are stacked, and I think he has an Urborg in play, but I think, oh, God.
Silumgar. Gabe doesn't have Urborg, but Ojutai joins Silumgar on the board.
He does have an Urborg.
Okay, downfall. He's going to use, he was holding up Hero's downfall for the Silumgar, and that actually forced.
That's it.
Wow, no.
Crux of Fate's going to kill Ochitai. The Vampire is going to come across for the W, and Gabe Joglar is going to win this game and match, and the friends behind him do clap. He takes down Sam Berkenbile 2-1. Obs on aggro, moving on over Esper Dragons. What a game.